My friends, listen closely and listen with a heart that is ready to receive, because what I'm about to say is not ordinary talk. It's not casual advice. This is a divine instruction. This is a sacred charge to your soul. You were not created to drag your feet through this life defeated and discouraged. You were not placed on this earth to live like a beggar of hope, pleading for crumbs of blessings. No, you were made to walk in the boldness of faith. You were made to carry the light of certainty. You were made to live as if you are a magnet to miracles, because you are, yes, you heard me right. Act as if miracles are drawn to you, not because you are worthy on your own, but because the one who created you has placed his power inside of you. When God created you, he didn't create you empty. He placed inside you the force of belief, the seed of divine favor, and the authority to walk with expectation. And when you walk in expectation, when you rise up in the morning and declare, today something good is going to happen, today God is going to move for me, then you begin to activate a power that attracts the impossible. You become a magnet to miracles. But let me tell you something deep and unshakable. The reason so many people never see the miraculous hand of God is because they walk around acting like victims instead of victors. They speak words of defeat. They carry a posture of doubt. They expect pain more than they expect progress. They think miracles are for someone else, somewhere else, sometime later. But what if I told you that miracles don't come to the doubters? Miracles don't find the passive. They come to those who dare to believe while everything around them says it's over. You must act as if it is already done. That's the posture of faith. Faith is not blind foolishness, it is radical trust in the God who does the impossible. You got to walk through the storm as if the sun is already shining. You got to praise God in the drought as if the rain is on the way. You've got to step into that place of expectancy where you are no longer begging for miracles, you are welcoming them. Because when you align your heart with God, when you live like you are covered, chosen, and carried, miracles will find you. They won't have a choice. You will pull them in by the force of your faith. Do you think it's an accident when things shift out of nowhere for those who walk with God? Do you think it's luck when breakthroughs break open for the faithful? No. It is alignment. It is divine timing colliding with unwavering trust. It is the hand of God responding to a soul that refuses to shrink back in fear. You have to understand this. The spiritual world is moved not by emotion, but by faith. God doesn't respond to tears alone, He responds to trust. You must act as if you are a magnet to miracles, because that's how you invite the supernatural into your natural. That's how you draw in what eyes have not seen and ears have not heard. That's how you attract what logic cannot explain. Your faith is not just for comfort, it is a magnet for divine movement. And every time you choose to believe when you could doubt, every time you choose to rise when you could crumble, you are pulling miracles closer. Now, you might say, but I don't feel like a magnet. My life feels like a magnet to misery. And I say to you, feeling is not fate. Circumstance is not your compass. What you see is not the whole story. Some of the greatest miracles are born in the darkest nights. The seed doesn't look like the harvest, but it carries the full potential of it. You don't have to feel it to walk in it. You don't have to see it to expect it. You just have to trust that God is not finished with your story. Let me tell you this truth. The enemy of your soul wants to rob you of your magnetism. He wants to strip you of your confidence in God. He wants to silence your declarations, destroy your expectation, and drown you in discouragement. But you have authority to resist. You have the power to stand in the middle of the storm and say, I am not shaken because I know who holds the winds. You have the power to act as if the answer is already on the way, even while you're still waiting on the door to open. God doesn't move when we deserve it. He moves when we believe Him. He doesn't perform according to our perfection, but according to our posture. And when your posture is that of a magnet, miracles are pulled into your life. The blessing that was delayed starts running to you. The healing you've been praying for finds its way to your body. The peace you thought was lost settles over your home. But it all begins with your mindset. You must learn to train your spirit to expect good things, not in arrogance, but in assurance. You must program your thoughts to believe in the goodness of God, even in the valley. You must declare His power when nothing around you looks powerful. You must walk with a strange, radical confidence, not in yourself, but in the one who cannot fail. And let me be clear, it's not magic. It's not pretending everything is fine. It's not about ignoring pain or denying struggle. No, it's about walking through the fire with the unshakable conviction that you will come out refined, not destroyed. It's about waking up every day and declaring with power, today, I am a magnet to miracles because God is still on the throne. When you live like that, you don't chase miracles. Miracles begin to chase you. Let your steps be full of purpose. Let your prayers be saturated with boldness. Let your words carry life and not limitation. Every time you speak, you are either attracting or repelling. So speak like the blessing is already done. Speak like the answer is already being formed. Speak like your future is already unfolding in favor. Because in the Spirit, your words are magnets too. Speak defeat, and you attract more pain. Speak faith, and you attract the supernatural. And don't you dare disqualify yourself from the miraculous just because of your past. God does not use perfect vessels. He uses willing ones. He does not choose based on performance. He chooses based on purpose. If He's kept you breathing, He's still got miracles scheduled with your name on them. But you must come into alignment. You must rise up and start acting like the blessings are on the way. Act like the promotion is coming. Act like the healing is underway. Act like the peace is returning. Not because of who you are, but because of who your God is. Some people call it delusion. I call it divine faith. I call it spiritual authority. I call it walking in what you know, not what you see. Because we are not ruled by sight, we are led by faith. And when faith becomes your foundation, miracles become your reward. I've seen it, I've heard the testimonies, I've watched the impossible bow its head to those who refuse to quit. I've watched closed doors burst open because someone dared to keep knocking in faith. I've seen broken bodies restored, shattered minds made whole, relationships resurrected, and hopeless situations flipped by the power of God. And it always started with a decision to believe when belief made no sense. So I ask you today, what are you acting like? Are you walking around like someone the world has defeated? Or are you walking like someone who's already won in the Spirit? Are you acting like you are cursed? Or are you acting like the favor of God is chasing you down? Are you shrinking under pressure, or are you standing in the middle of it with your eyes lifted toward the heavens, declaring, this is not the end for me? The time has come to flip the script. The time has come to break the curse of average, of defeat, of hesitation. The time has come to put on the garment of expectation. The time has come to speak with boldness, walk with confidence, and believe with fire. The time has come to act like you are a magnet to miracles, because if you truly believe in the power of God, then that is exactly what you are. Your life is not small. Your calling is not minor. The battles you fought were not random. They were proof that you carry something the enemy fears. And the very fact that you are still standing is evidence that God is not through with you yet. The miracle is not somewhere out there in the distance. It's hovering, waiting for your faith to pull it in. You were never meant to wander through life unsure of your divine backing. There is a certainty, a holy confidence that comes from knowing that the Creator of the heavens and the earth is not distant. He is present. And when you walk with that awareness, you shift the very atmosphere around you. You begin to draw favor where there once was rejection. You begin to attract light in places others only see darkness. You must act, speak, move, and breathe as if miracles are magnetized to your obedience and faith. Understand this. Your alignment with God's will is not passive, it's magnetic. You are not just hoping for good things to happen, you are positioning your spirit to receive what was already written for you. And that's the key, not wishing, but positioning. You don't beg for the rain, you prepare the fields. You don't plead for the door, you position yourself with the key of faith. You don't cry for the light, you walk as if the dawn is breaking. When your spirit shifts from hoping to knowing, from doubting to declaring, miracles begin to shift into your realm. God is not withholding because He wants to punish you. Sometimes He delays to strengthen your spirit. Sometimes He waits until your faith matures enough to carry the weight of the blessing. And when you act like a magnet to miracles, you are saying to God, I am ready, I trust you, I believe. That belief sends a signal into the spiritual realm. It is the beacon that invites favor to find you, even when you're lost in a crowd. It is the cry that calls blessings by name, the sound that shifts heaven to earth. Some of you have been sitting in silence too long. You've allowed life to mute your expectations. You've become numb to the possibility of the extraordinary. But today, I speak life into your spirit. Wake up. Rise up. Shake off the rust of fear and stagnation. Begin again to walk with the audacity of one who knows that God is still writing their story. Speak like the mountain has already fallen. Praise like the answer is already here. Because the moment you act like a magnet to miracles, you will begin to attract what eyes have not seen and what hearts have not conceived. There is power in your posture. Not just physical posture, but spiritual posture. The posture of your heart. The stance of your soul. Are you bent over in fear, or are you standing in faith? Are you looking down in despair, or are your eyes lifted in divine expectation? God responds to those who rise in faith before the waters part. He responds to those who take the first step before the ground feels stable. When you posture yourself with confidence in God, you become a lightning rod for the supernatural. You may not know how, you may not know when, but you must know who. And when your faith is fixed on God alone, it creates a magnetic field of miracles around you. That's not religion. That's not ritual. That's revelation. You are a vessel designed to carry the impossible. You are a soul designed to walk in divine outcomes. And nothing, no setback, no betrayal, no delay can cancel what God has already appointed. All that's required is that you keep believing, keep walking, keep acting, as if every breath is another step toward breakthrough. There is a mystery in how God works, and that mystery is not meant to confuse you, it is meant to deepen your faith. You are not called to understand every step, but you are called to trust the one who orders those steps. When you act as if you are a magnet to miracles, you are stepping into agreement with the unseen. You are declaring that God's promises are more real than the pain you feel, that His power is more true than the facts in front of you, and that His timing is always perfect, even when your heart grows weary. And here is the truth many overlook. Miracles are not always loud. Sometimes they come wrapped in silence. Sometimes the miracle is the endurance to wait one more day without falling apart. Sometimes it's the favor hidden in a rejection, the protection hidden in a delay. God is not obligated to explain Himself, but He is faithful to fulfill what He has spoken. And if you live with that revelation, you begin to walk with a power that cannot be faked, a strength that makes others ask, how are you still standing? And you will know, it is not by might, not by strength, but by the presence of God surrounding your life. Acting like a magnet to miracles does not mean you walk in arrogance. It means you walk in alignment. You align your thoughts with truth, not trauma. You align your declarations with God's nature, not your emotions. You align your decisions with faith, not fear. And when you are in alignment with God, everything attached to your life begins to shift. Doors that were sealed begin to creak open. Hearts that were hardened begin to soften. Resources you couldn't reach begin to move toward you. Why? Because miracles are drawn to those who believe God is still in control. Do not underestimate the power of consistency. Many expect fireworks, but God often moves in the fire of quiet obedience. Miracles don't always begin with noise. They begin with the person who keeps showing up in prayer. The one who keeps forgiving, keeps serving, keeps trusting, even when the results are delayed. Every time you act with unwavering faith, you are creating space for the miraculous to take root. Like soil waiting for the rain, your consistency becomes the field in which God pours out His divine abundance. And if you ever doubt your value, if the world has convinced you that you're too broken, too forgotten, too ordinary, let me remind you that God never builds greatness on shallow ground. The deeper the trial, the higher the blessing. The longer the wait, the greater the glory. Do not despise the process. The pressure you feel is not there to crush you. It's there to shape you into someone who can carry what God is about to release. Miracles don't just require power, they require preparation. And you, right now, in this very moment, are being prepared. Do you know why the enemy attacks your identity? Because he knows if you ever realize who you truly are in God's sight, you will become unstoppable. If you ever stop looking at your reflection through the world's mirror and start seeing yourself through the lens of God's purpose, you will walk like someone who knows heaven responds when they speak. You will carry yourself like someone who expects supernatural solutions. You will no longer chase validation. You'll understand that divine favor is your birthright. You'll speak like someone who carries the presence of God, and everywhere you go, the miraculous will follow. This is the hour to wake up your spirit. This is the hour to silence the voices that told you you were too small, too late, too weak. God does not need a crowd to validate His work. He needs one believer with a surrendered heart. One soul who says, even if I don't see it yet, I'll still act like it's on the way. That kind of faith shakes foundations. That kind of faith shifts bloodlines. That kind of faith creates legacies that echo into eternity. And don't be fooled, the world will try to talk you out of it. They will say, be realistic. Lower your expectations. But God didn't call you to live realistic. He called you to live redeemed. He didn't instruct you to play it safe. He called you to walk on what others sink in. So stop letting fear disguise itself as wisdom. Stop allowing doubt to dress up as logic. There is no limit in God. His power is without borders, and if you align your life with His Word, your story will become one that others marvel at, not because of what you did, but because of what God did through your belief. And let us never forget, gratitude is the gatekeeper of the miraculous. When you learn to thank God before the miracle arrives, you unlock a higher dimension of favor. Gratitude in the waiting season is proof that you trust the one who controls the outcome. Thank God not just for what He's done, but for what He's about to do. Praise Him like the doors are already open. Worship Him like the storm has already passed. Because God is drawn to the heart that celebrates before the blessing arrives. That is the heart of a magnet. That is the spirit of one who attracts the miraculous. And now hear this deep truth. One that few speak, but every soul must embrace. Acting like a magnet to miracles is not about pretending you have it all together. It's about standing in your weakness with the confidence that God's strength is sufficient. It is about being honest with your struggles, but not enslaved by them. It's about being real with your pain, yet not ruled by it. Faith is not the absence of difficulty. It is the unshakable belief that God's power is present even in the middle of the storm. And when you carry that faith like fire in your bones, miracles cannot help but be drawn to your path. You must understand the spiritual law that governs this reality. Expectation sets the temperature of your atmosphere. If you expect defeat, life will echo your thoughts. If you expect stagnation, the world around you will comply. But if you dare to expect the hand of God, if you dare to rise each day with holy anticipation that something divine will intersect your ordinary, then you have aligned yourself with heaven's flow. God does not pour oil into vessels turned upside down. He looks for those who position themselves with open hands, open hearts, and eyes lifted upward. Let me speak to the one who feels invisible, to the one who thinks their prayers have gone unheard, their efforts unseen. God has not forgotten you. He is not blind to your tears nor deaf to your cries. Sometimes the silence is the sacred space